Well, good morning, community bankers. I am Derek Williams, and I am proud to say that I have been a community banker for more than 35 years. And every year, I grow more and more passionate about what we do as community banks and why we do it. In fact, each year I grow more and more passionate about all the really good things in my life. You see, I come from a long line of passionate people who carry a fire in their hearts and their minds for the things that matter to them. It may not come as a surprise to some of you that my grandfather was a Southern Baptist preacher of the old fire and brimstone variety. And I grew up watching him thunder away in the pulpit to spread this message of faith to his community every Sunday morning. I also grew up watching and admiring my father, a builder and a craftsman who was fueled by this incredible talent of his hands, turning the dreams of his customers into reality. Dad was a leader in our small community because he too cared very deeply about making life better for others. So, following in their footsteps, I needed to find a profession that I not only loved, but one that lifted the lives of those around me. And with that, I became a community banker. And I immediately fell in love with this job that allowed me to help others realize their dreams, help my community grow stronger, and support the people around me who believed in what we were doing. I had found my passion. But I've seen that over the years, real passion, real fire, right, comes from experience. Oftentimes one of intense challenge that forces us to truly understand the significance of what we do and why we do it. Now, one of those intense challenges for so many of us in this room, was the Great Recession of 2008. Those were dark, dark days for everyone. And because our business model, is so closely aligned to the health and the vitality of the people that we serve, we suffered too. But I knew without a doubt that our industry would keep a light burning because our way of banking is different. Our relationship model is a source of strength and resilience. And as my grandfather used to often remind me, pure gold put into the fire comes out of it proven pure. And that's just what happened. See, despite heavy winds, our light as community bankers was never extinguished. Now, ICBA was a huge part of our industry's survival, just as they have been for the last week and continue to be today. They provided state association support, fought legislative and regulatory battles, and protected and even enhanced the great reputation that community banks have through differentiation of our relationship-based business model. ICBA is the reason why community banks weren't lumped in with all banks during the financial crisis. And this commitment to further differentiate, extends to this week's exciting launch of our ICBA's new national campaign, which shines a light on community banking. It was announced yesterday. I hope you will all take advantage of ICBA's resources and leverage this campaign for your communities. But here's the bottom line. During the dark times, it's the community banks and our relationships that help us forge a brighter future. Now, being put in that fire forged in me a lifelong passion to enhance and protect the community banking franchise. And armed with the confidence of history and my convictions, I know that what we do every day has lasting implications and influence on those who follow us. See, our legacy matters, and we must continue to set the course to define it. So in those days, I made a continuing promise to myself that I would work for the remainder of my career to ensure that I leave a legacy that would be truly impactful to my faith, my family, and to community banking. So, this morning, I want you to join me on a journey that will burn bright inside of us, with a fire that aims to fuel a legacy of compassion, of courage, and of commitment. I want to leave a legacy of compassion. I had the honor of serving as chairman of the Community Bankers Association of Georgia for 2 years, in 2009 and 2010. During those days of the Great Recession, my role as chair was to support, to encourage, and to motivate our community bankers to remember that community banking is different. One way we did that was we rallied around a very simple theme, but one that plainly states the principle that differentiates our model from the big banks: our passion for people. Yes, banking is a business of numbers, and the numbers will always matter. But key to our plans and primary to our focus is something much more important: the individuals who make up the groups that we serve, our customers, our employees, our shareholders, and our communities. See, our customers, they come to us for much more than equity line programs and CD specials, right? They look to their community banker as their personal financial advisor, their business partner, and their friend. And we ask them about much more than their net worth. We ask them about their gardens and their children and their grandchildren and that trip to the hospital. Our employees, we don't call them FTEs, okay? They're human beings, family, ohana, some of whom have given a big part of their adult lives to our banks. And they look to us for strength and stability, and they rely on us to help them provide for their families. Our stockholders, the people who invest in our banks, they're not mutual funds and big corporate analysts. They're our customers, our employees, our friends, our families. They're in it for the long haul. They're the people who love to stick their heads in our doors and say, "How's our bank doing today?" And then they trust what we tell them. Our communities, well, they see our banks as much more than banks. They see us as the business centers in the town. We're the people they call when they need a donation for Little League, or a team for the local Relay for Life, or a speaker for Career Day at the middle school. And we wouldn't have it any other way. I'm passionate about being there for the people in my life. And I want compassion to guide how I respond to both tough situations and opportunities for my customers, my community, and my community banking peers. And I want to leave a legacy of courage. I want to be willing to stand up every day for the things that matter. Our amazing ICBA leadership team and staff set a great example for this. ICBA has a single mission: to create and promote an environment where community banks flourish. Not just survive, but flourish. Now, reaching for that mission means courageously standing up for inequities and fighting anything that stands in the way of our bank's ability to serve our customers and our communities. It means having the same courageous boldness of 28 courageous Minnesota community bankers who on May 9th, 1930, formed our great association, and in doing so, stood up to the large banks that said there would be no more community banks left in the 9th Federal Reserve District within 3 years. They were wrong. It means taking initiative and focusing on relationship building and productive dialogue that will ultimately benefit our industry in the long run. And this is my heart. It means not shying away from who we are and standing up to the burden of excessive one-size-fits-all regulation and demanding that we get the credit we deserve for our proven record of prudent relationship lending, along with consistently meeting the banking needs of our community. It means building relationships at the grassroots level with legislators and being willing and able to advocate with phone calls and letters and emails and whatever it takes to get our message across. And it means demanding, press, that the policymakers and public wake up to the risky practices, costly tax subsidies, and irresponsibly lax oversight of our nation's credit unions. You see, I truly believe that we have a righteous calling. One that means we have to be willing to stand up for what we believe and protect the things that we love and stand for. See, that's why telling our customer stories to policymakers and the media is so crucial. We understand our customers and our communities in ways that few do. So when rules and regulations get in the way of serving harm, get in the way of us being able to serve our customers, we have to speak up for them. I want to be remembered as someone who consistently showed courage to stand firm when the situation demanded it. This is my commitment to you as your ICBA chairman. I will relentlessly advocate for you and this great industry. And I hope that you will all join me, because as you well know, we are all much more powerful when we as community bankers work together. Every voice, every story, every call matters. And finally, I want to have a legacy. I want to leave a legacy of commitment. You know, we all have our personal loyalties. We all have things that we're passionate about, different parts of our lives. But to a person, everyone in this room today should be absolutely committed to the role and the purpose of community banking in our world. Because not everyone believes in our model. The demise of our way of doing banking has been greatly exaggerated for many years. But I stood before a worn down and challenged group of Georgia community bankers in 2009, and I reminded them of a fact that I believe remains just as true today as it did then. There will always be a place in our economy for community banks that take local deposits from people that we know and understand and lend that money to the people that we know and understand in our communities. Always. Yes, technology is going to continue to impact our model. We know that. Yes, our business will continue to change, but our fundamental principles and our passion for people will not. You know, as community bankers, if we believe that, we need to act like we believe it. And if our legacy truly matters, and community banking is truly different, then it matters that the next generation of leaders of our great industry see that belief and that passion in the way that we lead our lives. At a small church in Georgia, many years ago, we often sang a chorus about legacy during worship. And while we were singing about our faith in God, I believe that it applies today to our legacy as community bankers. Oh, may all who come behind us find us faithful. May the fire of our devotion light their way. May the footprints that we leave lead them to believe, and the lives we live inspire them to obey. Oh, may all who come behind us find us faithful. I want to be faithfully committed to the things that matter in my life. And I never want those that I love to question my loyalty and my devotion. So, if this is the legacy that I want to leave, what's the next step? Today we're in paradise, right? Beautiful place, we're among friends, and we will enjoy every minute of this great time together. But through those doors are our homes and our banks and our communities. And that's really what it comes down to, isn't it? How do we daily focus on living lives that will leave the legacy that we desire? How do we consistently seek, in the words of Jesus Christ, not to be served, but to serve? You know, in a world and a culture that often seems bent towards selfishness and personal gain, that can be a challenge. But I know that we're up to that challenge because it's our time to shine. You see, there's something interesting about light. Very simply, light dispels darkness, and it doesn't work the other way. I find it very comforting and affirming that all the darkness in the world cannot dispel the light of a single candle. And I know that across this room, there are hundreds of individual single candles that cover every corner of our great country. Candles that not only dispel the darkness around you, but also every day light the candles, the other candles of the people that you touch and influence, passing it along. I believe that we as community bankers light up our communities and dispel darkness through compassion and courage and commitment. And I am confident that the fire of our devotion is lighting the way for those who are taking up the fight alongside us and long after us. My goal for next year as your chairman is to motivate and encourage each of us to truly celebrate the importance of what we do every day as community bankers and to reflect that confidence in the way that we live our lives. That begins with an unwavering support of this great association and the amazing staff that support our banks. You know, Rebecca and this team of committed individuals advocate and innovate and educate on our behalf every single day. They often fight and win battles before we even know they exist. Encourage every community banker that you know that is not a member of ICBA to join us with their time and their money to help us support and protect this great industry. And it begins at home. I want to ask you to do something. Make a way to daily remind those closest to you that they make a difference in your life. All that I have in my life, I owe to the unwavering support of my perfect and sweet soulmate, Karen, and our three beautiful daughters, Maggie and Betsy and Molly. And those three girls have further blessed Karen and me with three great son-in-laws, Brent and Gray and Cole, and so far, three delightful granddaughters. Amzie Marie, who's awake, and Gwenny June, who doesn't care what Poppy has to say right now, and little Adley Claire, who's back in Georgia. My family is the greatest joy in my life and the bedrock of all my blessings. And I'm able to stand here today because of the talent, the commitment, and amazing dedication of the greatest staff of community bankers in the world at Century Bank and Trust in Milledgeville, Georgia. I owe this opportunity to each and every one of them. And I also owe a huge debt of gratitude to an amazing board of directors who trust me and my staff to do our jobs passionately and effectively. And I want to thank you for being a community banker. You know, over the coming years, we will all continue to stand shoulder to shoulder to stimulate our economy, support our communities, and honor the great legacy of the community bankers who came before us. And we will do it all with compassion and courage and commitment, so that when our successors look back on the time that we were charged to protect and promote this great industry, they will find that we did it faithfully and effectively. Thank you all so much for giving me the greatest honor and opportunity of my professional career, and one that I will always try to be respectful and worthy of. So let's enjoy our time here in beautiful Hawaii. But then let's get to work, right? This is our time to shine. The future of our industry is in our hands. Our legacy starts today. Thank you very much.